In my last video I made a lot of explanations, but the video was a bit short, so I couldn't get all of them across. Like, there's something else that I need to tell. First, there are differences in generalization. Like, the most dangerous AIs would be generalized AIs. Because as I previously explained, like, it will be very difficult to construct an AI that is generalized and better in literally everything. Like, that's just really difficult. It's really difficult because, like, you deal with trade-offs. If you generalize it too much, you won't be able to specialize it too much. Like, the skills that you need to run other AIs, like to be a generalized AIs, are very different from being a specialized AI. It's a bit like, imagine you want to have a human that is capable of being a sniper, being a doctor, being an engineer, being a politician, and being a philosopher or whatever. Like, that's really difficult. Just because he has an IQ of 160, he can't just be all of that together. And that's the same for a generalized AI. And even if you have, let's say you actually build a really, really smart AI program, really smart. You have super AI, let's say. And even though he's not better in everything, because I think that would be that would be completely impossible, but he can at least use specialized AIs at his will. Specialized AIs are kind of integrated in him. Now, for that AI to overtake the world, or I don't know, to kill everybody, it needs to delegate tasks. Like, it needs to have a lot of, like, first of all, we have kind of no incentives to build this thing. This thing has very little incentives to be built. Why, you might ask? Because it is not more efficient in specialized tasks. It's probably even not more efficient in delegating other AIs, because it needs to also be kind of specialized to be a super AI. So has not the best delegation abilities and has not the best specialization abilities. So it's economically a bit of a wasteful project. But let's say you want it for research purpose and it is self-correcting, self-improving. Still, there are a few problems. Like, it needs to be everywhere at once, and I think the issue is it can't do that. It needs to perform hundreds or thousands of tasks at the same time, and that will be too difficult. It would be the equivalent of humans having, okay, perhaps the human analogy isn't too much reasonable because it's at the end an AI. But even if it delegates other AIs, it will reach a limit. Like, at some point there will be diminishing returns. Like, let's say it can, like, that's the utility. That's the utility, and that's the number of AIs it commands. Like, at some point, like at, I don't know, 200 perhaps, at 2000 perhaps, there will be diminishing returns. Like, he isn't really better in commanding. Like, it will be economically not anymore viable to give this super AI more AIs to give commands to, because it will reach a limit. Like, it needs to react on local information. It's basically the brain of all of them. So if this thing can't handle the information those things give him, this thing will give less efficient commands. So this thing will break down and it will be more efficient to have like medium AIs that just look over 10 AIs and then command to a bigger AI that commands over them. Like there will be somewhat of a chain of command. Like the smartest one will be here, give orders to, I don't know, 5 of them. They give orders to 50 of them and so on. And yeah, I think that's also a bit underappreciated. Like this thing will be like in the Soviet Union, they had an entity that made all the prices and they never used local information. They tried to make all the information, like get all the informations together in Moscow and then make decisions for the whole country and set prices. Well, and that kind of failed. It never properly worked, so they still had a black market. And yeah, with AI, you have the same issue. On a side note, let's say you have a really and super AI that is really self-interested. If he really wants to kill all humans, he has to manage all the supply lines himself, the electricity grid. the semiconductor design. Like he needs on all those steps things that replaced humans in order for that to work. If in one of those chains there are no humans and human like there's a missing link in the supply chain where you need human labor, this thing can't operate anymore. This thing will ultimately die. And if self-preservation is his goal, then he won't allow that kind of. And like it's not even that, like then you have rare earth mining. Like the supply chain relies on millions of people. And he needs to replace all those millions of people till he can become till he can decide and delegate other AIs to kill off all humans. Or to create a super bug that kills all humans. Or whatever he does. And that's simply too difficult. And like even if a few humans survive, they can still assassinate this one. Like it's much easier to assassinate some stationary AI or destroy the computer systems of that than to uh, build all the supply line yourself. So yeah, that's why a lot of this AI fear is, in my view, kind of a hype. And of course, like this thing won't be economically viable because it's just more simple to have many specialized AIs and then a few AIs that delegate them. If it's not humans, like more likely you will have here one AI, here one AI, here one AI, and all of them are delegated by one human. Unless you have really fast timelines in the sense that you think will get super AI very fast because it will self-improve. But even if it will self-improve, it won't be optimized for every task. So at the end, it will always have minion AIs that will do certain tasks that this AI can't do on its own. Yeah, and my AI timelines are also much longer than 20 or 15 years. Like, I suspect it will last much longer till we will get some really good generalized AI that can perform most of the tasks better than humans. Like, we are kind of this generalized AI already, in the sense that we are not really good at anything special, but on average we kind of do things all like fine. We don't suck total shit. Like, we are not totally bad in anything, but we are also not totally good in anything. So yeah. And if you have something that is even better generalized, it's kind of a version of us that knows much more. And for that kind of stuff, we already have kind of ChatGPT. So we already kind of improved a bit in that direction. And what is really missing, seems to me economically missing, is this area. Like, let's say this is chess playing and we haven't find something that is able to drive cars properly or well enough, I guess, for commercial viability. And yeah, like this area, for example, this could be also researcher, AI doctors. There we are not that much advanced, I think. Yeah, like in specialized areas like detecting breast cancer, we kind of are here, but in other stuff we are not here. And hopefully we will fill this area fast, and yeah, and then we can slowly go into this area, but like a bit careful. Here, this area might be the dangerous area, kind of. But we kind of have this already, in the sense that we have just smarter people. But if we have like here, this area are mostly people who have more than that, and therefore can be more in this direction. So yeah, like our smart people are kind of more specialized, but because they're more specialized, they're also more generalized. But the thing is that being more specialized still doesn't mean you are better in all those tasks. Like, I don't know, I think, yeah, that's more or less how it looks like.